Hello, welcome to another reaction video. It's time for another episode of the Tudors, and we're already up to episode number 7 of season 2. Liking this season a lot. You know, for me it's way better than the first season. Not that the first season is bad, not at all. That was a pretty good season as well, but yeah, they stepped it up in this season, and you know, I was hoping at the beginning that that would be the case, because the subjects and the topics that they are talking about in this season are by far the most interesting stuff that's happened during the reign of Henry VIII. Kind of hoping that it doesn't, you know, go south after this season, after they wrap up the whole Anne Boleyn storyline. There's some interesting stuff still about to happen, but I don't think it's as cool and interesting as the Anne Boleyn stuff and everything that happens around that marriage, and you know, the annulment and the separation from the Catholic Church and everything. That's such an interesting period in Henry VIII's reign. So this is really, yeah, we're really in the middle of it now in this season. So really enjoying it. Previous episode was a really good episode. The one before that was the execution of Thomas More. So I was dreading a little bit, you know, that it was maybe a slower episode or another whole lot of stuff happened. And in terms of big events, that was certainly the case. But you know, the writing in the previous episode was really good. The acting was really good, and especially there was really some fireworks going on between Henry and Anne Boleyn. And you know, both of them, you know, those actors really stepped it up, and they're really good acting in that episode. And you could really sense in that episode that Henry was kind of growing tired with Anne. She was getting a little paranoid as well, as he thought Henry had like a harem of women off-site somewhere in another palace or something. And she was questioning him about it, and basically confronting him, you know, saying that he was sleeping around and everything. And he didn't like it at all. And I think he was even misbehaving out in public. So yeah, the stress between those two characters, that was really there in the previous episode. It was really good stuff. And you know, I can't wait to dive into this episode. I don't know what's going to happen, of course, because I've never seen the show, but I don't know how they're gonna wrap it up. But they clearly are steering towards the execution of Anne Boleyn and Henry's desire to get rid of her. And so yeah, it's really interesting stuff. And so not much action in the previous episode, or it's not, you know, as a whole, it's not an action series. We don't get like big battles and everything, or wars. There were quite a few wars that Henry fought as well, but we don't get to see them. Don't think they have the budget for it as well. You know, this is really a show that focuses on the life at the palace, the life at court, and all the scheming that goes along with it. People trying to better their own positions and everything, and of course it documents the life of Henry and all of his wives and the stuff that he goes through. So you know, it's not an action series, but I knew that from the start. So that doesn't matter. You know, I like the drama, I like the fireworks between various people and everything. And so yeah, I think we just need to step in, dive in, watch the episode. Not a whole lot to talk about, and you know, we don't have to talk about the previous episode for a very long time. You know, if you want to see my reaction to that, you know, the playlist is in the description, so you can always watch that if you haven't seen it. And so yeah, for now, let's just dive in. This is episode number 7 of season 2 of the Tudors. Let's go. This almost seems like a dream sequence or something. I think it is. Said it before, you know, the costumes look amazing in this TV show. Look at the dress Anne Boleyn is wearing. Crazy. You're dreaming about her own downfall. I think she had some premonitions about it, saying that I think she had some dreams about it. Pretty dark dream, man. Holy shit. It's Mary who takes care of her. Yeah. That will wake you up with a sweat, for sure. Horrible dream.
Your Majesty.
Gentlemen.
Your Majesty.
What's that? Bible? That's one big-ass Bible.
The Valor Ecclesiasticus. The results of the Commissioner's investigations into the wealth and practices of all the religious houses in Your Majesty's kingdom.
Okay, so it wasn't a Bible. But still a big-ass book.
Evil practice and fraud which have flourished unchecked and in some cases for hundreds of years in these same institutions.
I was wondering, was it really the case, or are they just making up false accusations, or finding what they want to find? She's still shaken up.
I also wanted an opportunity to express my love and devotion to Your Majesty. As a reformer myself, I know all the good works you do without ever seeking any praise, but always deserving it.
Sucking up to the Queen, hoping to get the hand of one of her ladies.
Yes, it's true. We evangelicals must breathe new life into dead bones and encourage the ignorant to believe in the priority of faith and the Word of God.
And she's like, I don't want to marry that guy.
My lord?
Madam.
Does she have a say in this, Let's say she doesn't want to marry the guy. Does she have a say in it? Or?
But why doesn't Catherine just die? Everyone keeps telling me how ill she is. I mean, why doesn't she die?
Stop it.
She will. Have patience.
I should be left as regent. I can just order their deaths.
You're crazy. Stop it. Stop it!
Yeah. She's losing it.
Listen to me.
I don't know. I've never read anything about her being in this state that they show her in now. Maybe moments before her death she was, but... No, she was eavesdropping. Oh. The dress is ripped. Yeah, they're clearly steering now towards the incest story between Anne and her brother, Her brother's gonna get beheaded as well for having incest relationships with his sister. They're dropping little hints here and there. It's kind of awkward. The guy wanted to assassinate Anne, now serving her food to her.
Sweetheart, it's been tasted. It's not poisonous.
Yeah, but she's really paranoid. And her would-be assassin is standing right there, so she doesn't know that, of course, but...
I'm sorry. Forgive me.
You have no reason to be. You care for our daughter, as you should.
Yeah, he's growing tired of her.
But leave the greater things to my care. Do you understand?
Yeah, she should know her position, of course. If you look at it through modern eyes, we're a little bit shady, but, back then, she was the queen, he was the king, he was the ruler. And she was meddling with stuff she doesn't, she wouldn't get involved with in the first place, so...
That's very good, gentlemen. But allow me to chide you. I don't think that you are going far enough or fast enough.
Right.
I'm not your dear. I'm nobody's dear. I'm a woman and I demand equal respect for my ideas. For me, the practices of the Catholic Church are evil.
Yeah, but the fact that you are a woman, that means that your ideas are not looked upon the same as a man's. It's a shame, of course, but, that's how it was back then.
Well, I agree with you. The Catholic Church is corrupted. It's irredeemable.
then you should smash and destroy it utterly and totally and without pity.
Damn. Thought Cromwell was fanatical, but she's even worse.
Now you can put me back in my box.
Ready.
Oh, she wasn't kidding. She's still being shipped around in a box. I think we saw it in the previous season, or was it the beginning of this one, that she came from Germany to England in a box. And clearly they are still riding her around in it.
You may kiss me. And you will leave me alone. Forever.
Well, I've been reading a little bit about Thomas Wyatt lately, and he's actually going to marry her, so I think they're going to have a couple of kids together. So whatever he's doing, it's working. He's not gonna leave the Queen until she passes away, probably.
Contains many fine and old manuscripts and texts. We're very proud of it.
Gonna take everything away from them, probably.
His Majesty has also ordered me to find texts that would emphasize the royal supremacy and the new monarchy.
I do not think, Mr. Leyland, that you will find many such texts here.
That's probably the reason why I'm getting shut down. Be careful what you say, man.
Oh, my own heart.
Mama.
Oh, hello.
Damn, he grew up.
My dear girl, my sweetheart.
Why are you leaving?
Have you missed me?
I don't think time-wise that's correct. I think he was... How old is that girl? Like 4 or 5? I think Catherine was like 2 years old at the time. This is clearly not a 2-year-old.
She's giving me cause for concern. Anyone can see that the king is not so much in love with her as he used to be. What's wrong with her?
I don't know. Perhaps she's afraid.
He's going crazy, paranoid.
Successful people only recognize fear in others.
Don't talk to your sister again!
What an asshole. You know, I really don't like that guy. Said it before in previous episodes, but... That's dangerous. Oh, the king barges in. Maybe he was a little jealous of the fun that was going on. Seemed a little bit drunk as well, so... Is that real, what we are seeing? 2 of them in bed? Probably, you know, after this. Taking a different approach. Holy shit.
I want to conceive again. I want to conceive a son.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
But I can't.
Why?
As long as they're alive, I can't conceive a son.
He's ruining the moment again. Talking about him having to kill his own daughter. Not gonna happen.
Are you saying you want me to kill them?
Yeah, not gonna happen. You know, Catherine will die of her own accord, of course, but you know, he's never gonna kill his daughter. And there she is. Lying in her bed, all sick. Still a very tragic figure in this show.
Is it not cruel of them to keep her from me?
Gentle madam, yes.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's cruel. 4 years, not seeing your kid. Man, that's crazy.
We pronounce that the marriage between Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon stands firm and canonical, and their issue still stands lawful and legitimate.
Yeah, she draws strength from that. You know, she still thinks of herself as the Queen of England. I wonder how Henry's going to react, you know, when he finds out that she passed away. He's going to be happy, or maybe a little bit sad.
I have invited the sculptor Michelangelo to paint a Last Judgment in the Sistine Chapel.
Holy Father, there are still people who object to his work on the ceiling.
I know. I did myself, but now I like it.
Me too. If you're ever in Rome, get the chance to visit the Sistine Chapel. Amazing.
He thinks he can swim alone. But very soon he will realize he is not swimming, but drowning.
Yeah, cool words, but it's not gonna happen, man.
Madam, His Majesty left early this morning to go hunting with the Duke of Suffolk and other nobles.
Is he getting paranoid again?
I remember now, he told me.
Liar. He knows it. He was like, yeah, sure.
Who owns that house? Sir John Seymour and his family. I remember Sir John. He was in France with us.
Father of Jane Seymour. Are we going to get a first glimpse at her? It must be weird, you know. You're sitting around in your house, maybe having some tea or dinner or something, and all of a sudden, the king is at the door.
Sir John! Who is this shouting? Sir John, you have an unexpected guest.
Your Majesty.
Yeah, he was surprised, but of course he was also very happy. And meanwhile, Anna's having paranoid thoughts that Brendan and the king are out somewhere having sex with other women.
Corpus Domini nostri Jesu Christi, custodiat me in vitam aeternam. Amen.
Yeah, she's really sick, man. I don't think she's gonna last very long. Is she really there, or?
Oh, sweetheart, sweetheart. Is it you? Don't weep, let me.
Seems like it. Seems like she's really there.
Sweet child. My beloved child. My angel. My world.
She's hallucinating. Oh shit. I was like, man, good for her that she got to see her daughter before she passed away, but it's all in her mind.
If I had a son, it would bring about a golden world.
Well, actually, your daughter is gonna be responsible for the golden age. So. Oh, shit. So yeah, this woman is gonna be a problem. She saw some stuff going on between Hannah and her brother. And her dress was ripped and everything. Now she's Mark Smeaton giving her a kiss, or the other way around. So it's gonna be a problem.
Your Majesty, may I present my daughter, the Lady Jane Seymour?
So we did get to see her. That's cool. And Henry kind of falls in love with her on the spot, it seems. So yeah, they kind of, messed things up here because Jane Seymour was at court at this point already. So it's very good opportunity that Henry would have seen her when he started visiting Anne, because Jane Seymour was a lady in waiting for Catherine of Aragon, but also for Anne Boleyn. So she was at court for a very long time already, and he probably would have seen her. But I get it, from a writing perspective, that you want to keep her out of the picture. You want to confuse people who watch the show and everything and don't know a lot about the history. You don't want to introduce a major character like that, a future queen, probably in early episodes already. So I get it.
I question the policy, Mr. Secretary, because I am not convinced that it is the King's.
Madam,
You are far too high-handed, Mr. Cromwell.
She is overstepping her boundaries again. Yes, she's taking out her own frustrations on Cromwell now. I don't think he's going to stand for it. And of course, she is listening again.
For my daughter, Mary, I leave my collar of gold I brought from Spain.
Yeah, I don't think she has a lot of stuff to give to her daughter. Most of the stuff they've taken away from her.
Thank you, my loyal and loving Elizabeth. I must write to the king.
I never understand why she doesn't just go back to Spain. You know, the king doesn't want to see you. He's keeping your daughter away from you. Maybe the thought of maybe seeing her again kept her in England, but I would just like, you know, screw it, I'm going back.
Which you ought to prefer above all considerations of the world of flesh whatsoever.
Now we're going to see how Henry reacts.
And I do wish and pray dearly.
Yeah, just like I predicted, you know, he's struggling with it.
Pardon you also.
He's quite sad about it. You know, he spent a great deal of his life with her, so. First wife, mother to his daughter. Yeah, I think now that he's growing tired of Anne, you know, he starts to reflect on his marriage to Catherine. It was, you know, in every aspect, I think you can say that, at least from the show's perspective, you know, you can say that she was a much better queen than Anne was. And I think Henry feels the same way about that. There she goes. Yeah, this is really sad, you know. I'm choking up a little bit, you know. So is Henry. Of course, Anne's gonna throw a party and be all happy about it. And that's not gonna sit well with Henry as well, probably.
What is it, Nan?
Yeah, just look at her face.
Elizabeth?
He's like, okay, Catherine is dead, so I'm gonna have another shot at it. This guy doesn't waste any time. Oh man, did she kill herself? I was, early in the episode, I was saying, you know, that he's gonna marry her and they have kids together and everything. That's actually what happened, you know, in the history books, and now they kill her off in the show. So that never happened. If you don't know the real history, you know, she never killed herself. She marries him. They have a couple of kids together. Yeah, it must be so hard for her as well, man. She hasn't seen her mother in also like 4 years. Now she passed away. She didn't even get to say goodbye.
John, it's my wife,
Did they make up? because he cheated on her. I think it was a previous episode. They don't seem happy. Did they have a fight again?
Your daughter Jane should come to court as Lady to Her Majesty.
Thank you, Your Majesty. You do our family great honor.
Like I said, she already was. But, you know, I'm not going to repeat it again, but I get it. But now on the show, Henry's like, I want, you know, I really like that girl, so I want her at court. Probably sleep around with her a little bit. And her father is like, I see some opportunities.
My papa.
My Elizabeth.
Okay, so we get a totally different kid in the same episode. The other one had like dark blonde hair. This one is blonde. Maybe they thought we didn't notice, but we did. She's still too old. But
I have heard some reports which alarm.
I don't think she has the right hair color as well.
It seems you have quarrelled with Mr. Cromwell.
We disagreed on an important and public issue.
And I did not bring you up to...
Yeah, and you overstepped your boundaries. And you're gonna pay for it.
It was also me. He fell in love with me. He respected me.
Not anymore. And by overstepping your boundaries, you're only making it worse.
Catherine is dead. And I am pregnant. Do you understand?
Also, not for long.
We are on the edge of a golden world.
Yeah, now he's happy again. Too bad he's gonna have a miscarriage again. So, that was episode number 7 of season 2, and I gotta say, really cool episode once again, you know, not a whole lot of stuff happened, but, you know, some seeds were planted for future episodes and future events, and I really like how they ended it, you know, we see Anne all happy, you know, Catherine is dead, she's pregnant, she's really happy, she thinks everything's gonna be okay, but they probably ended on this high note, because the next couple of episodes are going to be brutal and we're going to see her downfall. So that's, you know, the ending is going to be the opposite of the rest of the season probably. So I really liked how they did that. That's cool. As a viewer, you're like, okay, everything is okay. You know, if you don't know anything about the history of this this age or the reign of Henry, and you're going to say, okay, man, all right, they're in a good place now. Catherine is dead. She's finally the only queen out there, and she's pregnant again, but... so you get a kind of a sense, you know, that they're heading off into good times, but not gonna happen. You know, she's gonna have a miscarriage again. Henry's gonna grow even more tired of her, and yeah, you know, I think most people watching this show know how it's gonna end. Of course, you know, it's gonna end with her execution. And yeah, but overall, a really good episode. Of course, very tragic. The stuff that happened again with Catherine, we got to see her again. You know, don't think we saw her for a couple of episodes. She was really sick and she passed away in this episode, and you know, the way that they did it was really tragic, and you know, I felt that. You know, it's kind of emotional also for her daughter, of course. Never got to see her mother again, and all of a sudden she's passed away, and yeah, I think the hate for Anne Boleyn is just growing inside of her even more. And you know, you can already see the groundwork that's being laid for you know, when she takes over as queen. You know, I don't think we're going to see that in this series, of course. This probably is going to end with the death of Henry, and but yeah, Mary is going to be queen. She's going to try and revert the whole country back to the Catholic faith. You know, she doesn't kill her sister or anything, because she's going to be queen as well, and she basically undoes everything that her sister does. So yeah, you could see some stuff happening there. You could see the resolve in her eye, you know, when they focused on her face, and yeah, really well done. And you know, I think we also got to see some stuff, you know. We saw that lady in waiting. She was listening to everything that was happening. You know, she saw Anne and George having a fight, and then when he left, her sleeve was all torn up. She gave Mike Smeaton a kiss as well, which she saw. I think she's going to play a pretty important part in future episodes when they're going to try and prove her infidelity and her incest with her brother. Maybe they're going to have her testify against Anne. Why else would they show us her eavesdropping everything and seeing certain events? So that's probably going to happen as well. For the rest, we got, of course, the lady in waiting for Catherine. She killed herself. She hung herself from the rooftop or from the ceiling. Never happened. I said it so during the reaction. That never happened. She married Thomas Wyatt. They had a couple of kids together. She never killed herself. You could see it from the show perspective. Maybe they had a reason to do it. I don't get it. I don't see the reason behind it. Maybe they don't want Thomas Wyatt to be married. They want to portray him as the guy who keeps pursuing Anne. I don't know. Of course, he's going to be indicted as well in Anne's infidelity case. But, he was pretty on good relationship terms with Cromwell, so he gets off. He doesn't get executed, which is funny because on the show he's the only guy that actually has sex with her. I don't know if it happened in real life, and it's probably not documented. So, I don't know why they did that. I don't get it. Like I said, I think they want to keep him single for some reason and just keep him, thinking about Anne all the time. But he was talking to somebody on this episode. I don't remember on top of my head who it was, but he said, you're still in love with her, and he says, I'm not. So he's clearly over her. He was pursuing that other girl. So we have to wait to see why they did that. I don't see a reason why, but sometimes these writers do stuff. They probably have a reason for it, but it's not pretty clear to me now. So and also, we got Anne picking a fight with Cromwell, who is, I think, one person you don't want to get into a fight with, and she's clearly overstepping her boundaries. And there are some reports and historical writings that clearly state that Henry was growing tired of Anne and the way she conducted herself at court. She had a very strong opinion on certain matters, like she had opposite of Cromwell. And, I think maybe he wasn't like an old-fashioned guy. He said, thinking about she has to be queen, just deal with your own stuff and leave yourself out of my the stuff that I have to deal with. And, she's clearly not doing that. She's trying to assert herself. She's trying to, force policy or get some stuff done. He says to Cromwell, I know a better location for that money to go to. That's not your place. It's the king has said that all the wealth from those monasteries and everything that goes into the treasury. Who are you to judge that? You're judging the king's decisions, and that's not something that you want to do. So I think they're also going to use that in the future episodes. We only got we got 8, 9, and 10 left, so we got 3 episodes left. Really look forward to those to see how they wrap it up. And I think in the next episode they're going to start with the downfall of Anne. They ended on such a high note for her in this episode, so it's only going to go downhill from there. And I can't wait to see it. Like I said on previous reactions that I did, if you haven't seen those, I've got season 1 in its entirety and season 2 as well. Playlist in the description. Make sure to check out the rest of the episodes as well if you just happen to stumble upon this episode. I always like to get people's reactions. Give me your thoughts on this episode. Give me your thoughts on the actual history and things that change and everything. Just drop it in the comments. And, I always try to make a point of it to react to every person that drops a comment. I want to engage with people. That's one of the reasons I started this YouTube channel. Of course, I wanted to watch a couple of shows and movies, but I hope it generates a kind of discussion, you know. We can talk about certain stuff. That's what I want, and I hope to get to do it with you as well. So, you know, everything, drop your comments. We can talk about it, and I like to see different perspectives, and also like to be educated as well. You know, I'm not an historian by any means. You know, I know a lot of stuff about Henry VIII. I read a lot of books about Anne Boleyn as well, and about Cromwell, but you know, I'm not an expert. So, you know, I always am really keen on learning new stuff. So drop everything that you have on your mind in the comments, and we can talk about it. So yeah, I think now we're going to just wrap it up. I'm going to thank you for watching. I hope you join me again on the next one, and that's going to be episode number 8 already. So we're getting close to the end of this season. So yeah, like I said, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye bye.